Hello everyone and welcome. I have with me today Chris Hamrick. You are the co-chairman of the Dublin Exchange Club Christmas Parade, and as we look downtown Dublin, kind of a quiet morning here in downtown Dublin, which you work here every day at Marsh Bank, but you're co-chair for the first year, right?
Yes, sir. Correct.
Okay, and tell us what plans go into putting this parade together.
So here in the last month, we've really been reaching out to everybody, trying to get ads out. We've got applications at most all of the local banks here in Dublin. We ran an ad in the Courier Herald, so people who are getting the newspaper, they can actually just clip that application out right there and turn in their entry form that way. Just reaching out to previous applicants that have been in the parade before, all of our dignitaries, trying to line up the Grand Marshal. And right now we've just been in that phase, collecting the applications, and here in the next week or so, the co-chairman, John Pittard, and I will start working on the float for the Exchange Club, trying to get all of that together and get ready to go.
Okay, and I know it's tough every year lining him up, but have you got Santa lined up yet?
We do have him. We do have him. We're going to have him on our float. I actually talked with Chris Sumner this morning. We're going to be getting a big recliner coming in, so Santa will have something comfortable to sit on for the ride. Chris Sumner's the manager at Farmers Furniture here in Dublin. He's helping us out there.
Well, we definitely want to make Santa happy. I know you have a small child and my grandchildren, but we want Santa excited about coming to Dublin so he can be good to all our kids this year.
Yes, sir. We're looking forward to it. We hope he'll be mighty comfortable on this big recliner.
Well, Chris, bring a nice chair. We'll all be comfortable in it probably. But tell us where we can get the forms. Do you have them online?
We don't have them online. Like I said, we've got several at most of the local banks. Some of the other businesses in town may be carrying them. We put out all of them within the local banks.
Okay.
Morris Bank, right here downtown, we've got some at the mall branch as well. Bank of Dudley has some, and Farmers State Bank as well has put them out.
Okay, very accessible. Where do we line up, and is there a entry fee to get in the parade?
There is an entry fee for those who are going to be bringing in motorcycles or smaller ATVs of that sort. Is $15 per vehicle. Cars are going to be $30. If you're bringing in a truck and trailer, if you're carrying a float behind a big truck or a tractor, it's going to be $60 for your entry.
And where do we line up at?
We'll be lining up down Telfair Street, going back down 441. We'll start lining up right there just shy of Cochran Brothers and back down Telfair Street. And then we'll be turning left right there and coming back towards the courthouse.
Okay. And will we go how far down? As we said, we're here in front of Marsh Bank at Bicentennial Park. How far down?
We'll actually come right through here. We'll be ending at the post office.
Okay.
It'll turn off right there at the post office.
Okay. And we'll line up around there. We know the entry fee, and tell us the date and time.
The date is December 3rd. Lineup will start at 12:30. We'll be reaching out to all of our applicants and letting them know what spot in the parade they'll be, so they'll know to look for the signs along the road. We'll get them lined up starting at 12:30, and the parade will kick off at 2 p.m.
Okay, well, good luck, Chris Hamrick, co-chair of the parade, and we're looking for an exciting parade and a great Christmas season. We want to thank the Exchange Club for doing this.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all, and thanks to everyone, too, in the community that's coming out and supporting this, and all of our local law enforcement and everyone that's just making this a possibility.
There are many ways of doing business today.
Hello?
Call centers, mobile apps.
Right away.
But when it comes to what really matters, our way is pretty simple. To be there when you need us most. That's the quality of your independent agent and the company that stands behind them.
Or Insurance in Dublin is your local independent auto owners insurance agency.
Welcome back, everybody. Now I have the president of the Dublin Exchange Club, and you've been in the Exchange Club for several years, and we're here today talking about the parade. But for you being the president, I want to talk a little bit about what y'all do, and just share with the community some of the projects of the Exchange Club.
Well, our biggest project is child abuse prevention, and we do a luncheon along with Stepping Stone every April. And what we do is we just try to get people in there who have dealt with child abuse, or either themselves or maybe had a child that's gone through something like that. We have them speak, and we just try to raise money for a local charity, Stepping Stone, and just try to get more of the child abuse prevention awareness out there. That's April's Child Abuse Prevention Awareness Month. We do give a kid a flag to wave. We're very involved in American citizenship. We do a citizenship contest. We do an athlete of the year where we give scholarships to athletes, to the star students, to just all the different schools around here. And we raise all of our money through the pancake supper, mainly, and also this project right here, the parade. And so this is kind of just a way to, one, get our name out there, and also give back to the community a little bit more, maybe raise a little bit of money to where we can give back to the community in different ways and different projects.
Are these national programs, or are any of them exclusive for the Dublin, Orange County area?
Child abuse prevention is our national project. That is one that we get through nationals and that we really try to push hard. The Star Student is something we do locally. We took it over after the Kiwanis Club stepped down from it. One of the other things that we do locally is we help out with distinguished young women. We have them all the contestants come to exchange and meet, and we get to meet with them, kind of ask them some questions. We help do perform the pageant, and then we help raise some money and give them a little money on their trip to nationals, then the winners of state, and then on to nationals.
So what I'm hearing from you, and you taught me a couple of new things there, but the Exchange Club is doing things not only to help people now, but child abuse. You're changing lives forever.
That's what we try to do, and that's what we strive to do. Stepping Stone's a great thing in our community. They really help out and give a kid a safe space to where they can kind of come up with some answers and really feel welcome and warm, so they can kind of get through that troubling time and difficult time, and we just want to be a part of that. And so anything we can do to help out, especially help out a child so that they can be a great citizen one day and go forward, because that's something that could really scar a child early on, and we want to do anything we can to help develop them and raise them right.
What have you learned? Let's focus on child abuse a minute. Of course, knowing your family longer than you've been alive,
right,
and how you was raised, your grandparents, everybody, but I know the kind of childhood you had, but what have you learned about this child abuse? I mean, I know it's had to touch you.
It has. I guess one of the biggest things is that it happens to the kid down the street. It's not in poor neighborhoods. It can be a kid from a very well-to-do family. We had a lady come in and speak about her son. This was in a well-to-do neighborhood in Atlanta that her son was going to daycare, and they had a problem at their daycare center. And it's just one of those things that it can happen to anyone. It happens to the very privileged. It happens to the people lower on the totem pole. I mean, it happens to everybody, and it affects everyone. And just how many people it affects, and how many different children have a little bit of a story and it's one of those things that a lot of people try to hide and they feel ashamed of, and it's one of those things, but we want people to be aware of it so that we can prevent it and help out in the future.
The pancake supper, what a great way to raise money. So when we come out, thousands of people, looks like to me, which
right.
I go every year, but isn't it amazing that all of our $7 times thousands, we can be a part of helping with child abuse. We can be a part of distinguished young women. We can be a part of these scholarship programs, Star Student, Star Teacher. But that's very inexpensive. But as a community, when y'all tally the money, I know it's amazing that all those $7 add up to be able to fund projects like this.
Yeah, it really does, and it goes a long way. We do different scholarships with it. We also help other local organizations like the Joy Clinic. Everyone can apply, and then we kind of read the applications and we award that money out. So we don't keep any of it. We give it all to we've started a foundation called the Exchange Club Foundation, so that people can actually leave us money in their will or anything like that we're not locally tied to. So if something was to happen to Exchange Club, the other one sets aside so that money can continue to help people and go towards great things. We helped out with King's Cleft, who a lot of people don't know that they adopt children who have previously been adopted that the families couldn't take care of, that have some mental or physical disabilities, and that family out there does great things, just taking care of kids and taking basically the unwanted and loving them and showing them a Christ-like family to where they can grow and develop. And they have kids from toddlers all the way up to 20 and 30-year-olds that just couldn't be out in society without them.
Watching you at the Exchange Club and listening to you now, your faith's important to you, isn't it?
Yes, sir. It's very important. I've gone to the same church since I was born. I always joke I've been a member of Liberty Baptist Church since 9 months before I was born. So it's always been a very important part of my life, and that's why I chose Exchange Club, because it's a very important part of the club. November is One Nation Under God, and it's where we really stress getting back to our roots as a nation and really going back to what the founding fathers had in mind, and that's love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, and mind. Love your neighbor as yourself, and then everything else kind of takes care of itself.
Amen. Well, thank you for sharing that with me. But you have a great pastor.
Yes.
We love Chris. Matter of fact, y'all have been on TV 35 for some time, about to come back on with the new church. Absolutely beautiful out there. So I know you're proud of the new church there, and like I said, Chris is reaching people all throughout this community and throughout the state.
Yeah, he really is. It's one of those things to, as a church, we try to tithe back. God calls us to tithe, and so as a church we tithe. So we try to invest back in our community, whether it's we do a back to school bash where we give out over 600 book bags full of school supplies to people who are in need of that at the time. We just did in October the Carnival for Christ. It gives an alternative to trick-or-treating where kids can come and win prizes and free candy on Halloween night. We had over 5,000 people come through that night. It's just a way to kind of reach people. We give back worldwide, starting churches and things like that. So he's really led us and dedicated his life to giving back and reaching the lost.
Yeah, and Scripture tells us to give of our first fruits, and our barns will be plenty, won't it?
Exactly.
So here's the kitchen.
This is perfect. Wait, this house uses just electric?
Yeah.
That'll never work. How can we expect to cook under these conditions?
So what do you think?
I think this is a wonderful house to raise our family in.
It is natural gas though, right?
It's kind of all electric.
Natural gas sells homes, so choose natural gas.
Brought to you by the City of Dublin.
Welcome back, everybody. Now I have with me Phil Bazemore, and you are the secretary of the Exchange Club.
That's correct.
Kind of a job you've inherited, and I think they're going to keep you a while, aren't they?
It looks that way. I keep expecting a phone call, that maybe they found somebody better, but hey, it looks like they're stuck with me for a while. So that's, but I think they enjoy it. So, and I do.
And I know you do. It's a great organization, and a lot of you heard Justin a few moments ago and talking about and seeing the pride on his face as you watch from behind the camera, and that's what I see from any Exchange Club member I talk to. That sense of pride for community and patriotic and things that we're getting away from.
Yeah.
Things that when we were young, we saw it, but our kids have really not seen what has made America great, and I hope we get those days back.
We do, and that's something. That's one of our 4 pillars. Justin kind of went into detail on child abuse prevention, but Americanism is a huge pillar. And if you've ever been in any of our schools, if you see the Freedom Shrine, that's the Exchange Club. Man, we want to let people know. We want everybody to see those documents and to have that. And as Justin was mentioning, One Nation Under God, the Exchange Club was actually in the 50s one of the people that lobbied major for the Pledge of Allegiance to have under God put into it. So we're totally unable to separate ourselves from our Judeo-Christian traditions. We're proud of them. We're willing to fight for them, and we're willing to fight for this community. So we're proud as heck to be a part of the Christmas parade, and just very, it's one of our fundraisers. We have many, but it's an event we love doing because it brings the community together. Everybody can participate, and it's just a great thing.
Yeah,
So.
and as Phil was saying that about patriotism, you can't see it on camera, but over his left shoulder, I'm looking at the flag in front of Morris Bank as you talked about that. So there's nothing like, this past week we had Veterans Day, and to be in the midst of those veterans, some have lost limbs, some of them's minds are not right, and I've never been in the military, never served in the war, but I can't imagine what they've been through. But so we can have the very freedoms we have right now standing here with
Absolutely.
a free media. We can worship God, we can talk about our country, we're not going to be gunned down or whatever, and it is a great freedom. There's nothing like it, is it?
Exactly.
And to stand in this bicentennial park like this.
Oh yeah, and that brings me back. Another thing we do, we have and it's just kind of a little. I think it's a neat thing we do. It's called Proudly We Hail, and it's people that publicly and proudly and properly display the American flag, and we choose individuals and businesses. And interesting story, we have a local doctor in town. I won't mention his name, but he's an immigrant from Hungary, He came to America with absolutely nothing, started a business with absolutely nothing, and now has well over 30 employees and is just a shining example of what legal immigration can do. He's here, and if you ask him, you know, he would never, you know, he will tell you how great America is because he's seen what happens when you go the other path.
Amen.
And just a true American patriot and somebody that we can, in a small way, you know, honor, you know. And but yeah, you better believe he's, you know, coming from Hungary. Yeah, he's got an American flag in front of his business, so he knows what America can do.
Yeah, that's a wonderful story. And those of us who have traveled abroad, there's nothing like getting back on American soil. You know, we live in the best country. Yeah, we got our problems, but now I hate to ask this question. It's probably going to tell my age, but I remember the Exchange Club Christmas parade when I was a little bitty boy.
Right.
And actually had hair back then, believe it or not. But how old is the Exchange Club Christmas parade?
Well, the photographs, some of the photographs we have, which Scott Thompson, of course, has a lot of them, but it is at least as early as 1964. So we've been doing it for, you know, the Exchange Club has been doing it for decades, and our club started in 1938. We just started or celebrated our 80th anniversary of community service. So that group of men in 1938, I think they'd be mighty proud, and to see that the club is still going. We're still doing the Christmas parade, and probably wouldn't imagine that in 2016 we would have flipped over 1 million pancakes for the community. So
I've watched you flip a lot of them, and Justin touched on that. It's a big fundraiser, but how do you pull that off? How long does it take, and where do y'all get all those griddles from? Is that something you storing over here in a storage room?
Well, they actually get stored. We have one of the local businesses in town has a little bit of storage space.
Okay.
You know, and there's 9 of those grills, and those grill teams, some of them have been together for well over 20 years.
Yeah.
But the local technical college, when another one is added, they build it for us. So they're all locally built, and they're all that's all student students that built those. So, and basically, I guess the best way to say it is you know, 80 men one day and a whole lot of pancakes, and everybody knows their role, and we kind of get out there and get it done. None of us are professional chefs, I promise you, and but we definitely appreciate people's patience and time, and like you say, understand, and you know, and that's something when we talk about child abuse prevention, you know, the past 2 years. You know, the students that write an essay to us and tell us about their experience and tell us about how they have, you know, how they've lived a life of abuse. You know, we sponsor one of those kids every year. The past 2 years they've won state, and the year before last, the girl won nationals.
Wonderful.
Nationals. So that you're talking about the whole United States from right here in Dublin, Georgia. You've got a national winner, a national scholarship winner for the Exchange Club for Child Abuse Prevention. So it's something that you know, it just goes to show you can go anywhere from here.
Yes, that's right. And we've got examples all over this community.
Absolutely.
There's no doubt.
Absolutely.
And my favorite stories is the ones that come back and serve in this community.
That's right.
And we got to have jobs for them, etc. But what made you get in the Exchange Club?
Well, I've always been interested in what they do. Obviously, the pancake supper is the most impressive thing.
That's why you joined.
You know it. You know it. But no, actually, I guess the combination of Americanism and child abuse prevention. I mean, that's 2 powerful things. That's not the only thing that we do, but that's something that you know, just really led me to think that was what I needed to do. That's what I needed to represent, and so that was a pretty easy decision when it came to a civic club. So
good.
and we're not the only ones. I'm not going.
That's right.
There's a lot of great civic clubs
Amen,
here.
Brother.
All of them are great, and
I
think the world of all of them. I don't want to take away anything from any of them, but I am proud to be a part of ours.
Yeah, absolutely. And one time of the year when we all get together, and it just amazes me when I'm filming it. It's amazing, but when I go back to the studio and actually see the video of the Joint Civic Luncheon, and to see the Service League and the Exchange Club, Civitan and Lions and Rotary and Pilot Club. I better not leave anybody out.
Don't leave anybody. I was going to throw the pilots in there now. Don't forget about my pilots. I love them, baby.
Oh, believe me, I know. They meet at our church, so they meet at our church on their meeting days. So we love the pilot lady.
Absolutely.
And they would have got me first.
They would have got you, yeah.
So you didn't disclose where those grills are at for a reason, probably, because I really need one. You're not going to tell me where they are.
No, I know that's secret
goodness.
location.
I thought I was going
to. You know, we have to keep that top secret.
Okay.
And I guarantee you don't want to move them. It takes about 4 people to move one of them. So
you need help, huh?
Yeah, you need help. Yeah.
Well, Phil, we really appreciate. Of course, we've had Justin here, and we've just talked about the Christmas parade, the Exchange Club, and we really do. We love all the civic clubs, like we said, but we really appreciate what y'all do, not only with the pancake supper and child abuse, but Christmas parade where everybody can come down. It's like a big family reunion to me. We all come downtown. I see people that I don't see a lot throughout the year, so it is really great, and we love broadcasting on TV 35. So the parade, tell us one more time the date, and we know it's the first Saturday, the date and the time.
December the 3rd at 2 o'clock, and try to get here. Try to get here early if you can, and get everybody. You'll see me. I'll be at my yearly post across from the old white sign in Kids Kingdom, real close to Mackey Plumbing there, and I'm kind of on that corner, and I'll be there with my sheet of paper, and hopefully if you don't know what direction to go, I can help you get there. So, but very proud to do it, and thank you so much, TV 35, for interviewing us today and giving us a little chance to talk about the Christmas parade and the Exchange Club.
Okay, you heard him. December 3rd, 2 o'clock. Get here early, an hour before the start of the parade. So at 1 o'clock, the city of Dublin will close out the streets on the side, so you can't get in here. So get here at least an hour early. You can get your car parked wherever you want. And we want to thank our Downtown Development Authority and City of Dublin for adding so many parking spaces. So I think we can accommodate everybody. But if you're watching us in the outlying areas in another community, please come be a part. We invite you to come and be a part of our Dublin Exchange Club Christmas Parade. We really, really appreciate you joining us today.